Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 90% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences, such as case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds, let the artificial intelligence do all the work, get access to 50% more qualified leads so you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. On today's episode of Pathmonk Presents, I have a very special guest with me joining today. Please welcome Angelica Wedell. She is a communications and marketing director at POLCO. So for all of you who don't know, they bring the voices of everyday residents to government leaders with award-winning community engagement services, online polls, and survey research. The leaders of this company are around the nation, and they're here to help you make better decisions with their communication and accurate and reliable feedback. Angelica, thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to have you on our show today.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I love the way you say my name. It's a lovely accent, and I'm very proud to and pleased to be here to talk about POLCO.
Oh, absolutely. We're super excited as well. So for all of our listeners out there, tell us, what does your company do? Who are your clients overall? And ultimately, what is the problem that you solve for your clients as well?
All right. So POLCO is a community engagement, technology, and data-driven platform and company. So POLCO is all about bringing the voice of residents together with their decision makers, their community leaders, and really bringing people together around the most important topics in their communities. So that way, residents and stakeholders and businesses have an opportunity to have a voice and have a say in the things that are going on in their community. And that way, also, the local government leaders have an opportunity to hear from their residents in a way that's accurate, in a way that's reliable, and in a way that's going to allow them to make great decisions confidently. So that's what we're all about.
That's incredible. So now, in terms of your clients, how do they typically find you? Because I feel like, since you're working with not only with residents, but also with, government leaders, I feel like that's very niche. And a lot of it is word of mouth. And it's just, who as well. But please, how your clients find you overall? Like, is it through digital marketing, inbound, or is it a mix of a lot of things currently?
So POLCO right now is in a stage of growth. And so we are actually having our clients come to us and finding out about us in a variety of different ways. But one of the big ways is through our content marketing channels. So through that, my background is in content marketing, and I started off when it was National Research Center back in the day. National Research Center brand is about 30 years old. I want to say the POLCO brand is about 8 years old now. And I've been with the company for 8 years, started off with National Research Center. And then in 2019, National Research Center became a part of POLCO. And so now we also recently this year, under our POLCO umbrella is now Balancing Act. And so to answer that question in a long and roundabout sort of a way, we have people who we've brought on from the other organizations that we've worked with that are part of our brand. And we also have people who discover us through the amazing research and the content that we're regularly putting out there into the world through the PR initiatives that we have on a regular basis. So people oftentimes will find out about us because of a great report that we put out there. We also have really amazing partners, a couple of which I'll name is the International City County Management Association, ICMA. So a lot of your listeners may be familiar with ICMA if they're working in the government management space. And then we also are partnered with the National League of Cities, NLC. And we also have a few other amazing partners that we work with that help us to put our voice out there and to let people know of the things that we can do together. And we do a lot of really unique initiatives, I think, for particularly government. Our bread and butter is that government space. We typically work with local governments, and so a lot of times they're going to be finding out about us through newsletters that we're publishing through. They're going to find out about us through their friends. Word of mouth is big for us as well. And then again, those partners such as ICMA and National League of Cities, NLC, ELGL, and several others that we publish through as well, and that we have great relationships with. A lot of people will find out about us through that, and then through our content marketing. So all of the articles and the social and the white papers and our blog and everything like that. A lot of people come in. We have a newsletter that we're looking on kind of expanding over in the next year here as well. So a lot of people come in with their first exposure through, maybe they heard us speak at a conference. We do public speaking all across the nation, and we do big webinars and things like that. And, maybe they come in through content, and then they stick around for other things as well.
Amazing. Wow. It's super great. The resources you guys provide, what you're doing overall, and just really, providing that transparency for, the community and clients overall. So I think it's great what you guys are doing. Yeah. So now we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to talk about your company's website. So what would you say are the major strengths of the website, but then also where the opportunities room for improvement? I feel like we've already touched base on the strengths, with the resources, the white papers, and everything elaborated on already. I feel like that's the main strength of the website, of all the content that you guys built, and being key players in the industry. So if there's anything else you'd want to elaborate more on that, then please do. But if not, then we can talk about where there are opportunities for room for improvement.
We love talking about websites.
Yeah.
Our website is currently in a stage of transition. We are currently rebuilding our website. And so with that, we are also rebuilding our model and how we think about things and how we structure things. So the website, as you see it today, it looks quite a bit different than you might if you looked at it a few months ago. So one of the things that you'll notice is that we are really focusing on the idea and bucketing our offerings into this concept of track, engage, and assess. Because here's the deal, right? You got data. What are you going to do with it? Here's one thing I always say. This is going to be on my grave because I say this way too dang much. But data is not an egg. If you sit on it, it will not hatch. I promise you, it won't hatch. So we don't want to just give you numbers and information. We want you to take action on that information. And the best way that you're going to be able to take action and do great things to benefit your community is by this model. It's a loop of track, engage, and assess. So when we talk about track, we're talking about measures and data and information that you can take in and say, this is what's going on. This is the information that's coming in. This is how we're performing right now. These are our government, our city performance measures, right? You got to track that. You got to track it over time. You got to track it. That we can curate information from publicly accessible information. We curate that for governments as well as, then we get into the next stage where we want to engage. So throughout the policy life cycle and throughout your program, you should be engaging your community. You should be inviting that resident voice and that business stakeholder voice into your decision making. And so by engaging people, by using our simulations, for example, to show them the trade-offs that you might be making for your municipal budget, or to invite them to take a quick 10-minute poll to get an idea of what pilot program initiatives do you have feedback for us on? Do you want a swimming pool in the downtown area or not? Right? You can do a quick engagement poll and you can do simulations to get people involved, to get people joining you in your mission as a government to make change. And then finally, you want to be assessing things. And so assess is, in our case, a lot of times we are talking about our famous benchmark surveys. And these are what a lot of people actually know us best for. The National Community Survey is a nationwide community assessment survey that measures resident satisfaction with their community across the United States. And it is the largest database of its kind in the United States, and it represents over 50 million American voices. So we did a lot of research with that, a lot of analyses of that we can put out there. And then the local governments, when they take this survey, when they administer this survey in their community, they also get a benchmark report that shows them how they compare to other cities across the United States. So you can see, all right, well, if trash service got 40%, is that low or is that high? You don't know if there's no context. So if everyone's getting 40% trash service, then yeah, you're doing pretty equal to everyone else. If, everyone's getting 20% ratings positive on trash service and you're getting 40%, well then, hey, you got something to write home to mom about how great you're doing, right? So we add context. So we have a series of benchmark surveys that we consider. We think of this is where you're going to assess. This is going to be your annual, your every 2 year, your big survey that's going to take 10 to 15 minutes to take. And it's going to be a comprehensive community assessment. So these are the types of things that when you talk about community engagement and when you talk about decision-making and you talk about the policy life cycle, in this way, community engagement and data gathering are not a one and done thing. They don't stop just because, well, we did our community survey, folks, we are done. See you in 2 years. No, that's not how you build trust, right? We have to build trust. So anyways, our website is focusing on mirroring that ideal. How are you going to build trust? You're going to have a cycle of track, engage, and assess, and then you're going to do it again, and then you're going to do it again, and you're going to engage throughout the entire thing. And so that's why our website has changed so dramatically in the last year, in the last few months even. So we're at this stage right now, we're still tweaking things, we're still optimizing things, we're still getting it off the ground and running, because we have a new approach, we have a new vision, we have the same mission, but the vision as far as how we're going to get it done and who we're going to help out in the future has changed. It has expanded. We're not just looking only at local governments anymore as well. So if you take a look at our website, we have now solutions pages. So not only are we looking at city managers, for example, but we're also saying, hey, this exact same method, this same philosophy applies to the entire public sector. So you can be the director of Parks and Rec, you could be a police chief, you could be someone in an economic development decision maker space. And these same philosophies, you could be in HR. These same philosophies are going to serve you in the public sector throughout, not just in the city management group. So you'll also see new on our website where we have these different solutions pages where we can show all of these different audiences. Take a look. We have something for you. We have something for you. We have something for you as well, because we all need these things. These are tools that I believe that every public sector leader needs and that residents really would appreciate. I know I would appreciate, and I do appreciate when my city asks me for my opinion. And I don't always get that opportunity, as a resident in the United States. You don't always get an opportunity to have a say in the decisions in your local community. But we think if you make technology and you use technology to lower those barriers of participation, you're going to be able to start solving a lot of issues, a lot of these wicked challenges that governments have today. So that's what our website is starting to mirror now. And that because I'm thinking broad picture, not just, conversion, not just funnels and paths and things like that, because I'm more focused right now on that broader mission, on that broader goal, and on who we're going to help and who we're going to focus on, because I believe that the things that we can offer today are super important and is something that every local government, every public sector organization really needs.
That's incredible. And just, wow, it's really amazing to see where the website has come and where it's going now and how it's mirroring everything that you were talking about. And I think too, it's very crucial where, especially now as you were elaborating, where now that it's very important where communities, in the US, they deserve to have their voice heard. And where a lot of communities are fighting to better themselves overall. So I think it's great that your website is, the gateway and helping them give them a platform to be able to do that with our government, with the government leaders overall. So yeah, definitely. So now we're going to switch gears here. And we're going to talk about you as a leader. So give us some insights. What do you do on a daily basis? How does your day-to-day look like? And with running a marketing team as well.
Thank you so much. And you can cut this part out. Is it Maria or Mariah?
Maria.
Maria.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Maria. And I will say to start talking about, you've already given a nice introduction as to who I am, my title, and things like that. But I will kind of get started by answering that question with a little bit of my background at our organization. My name is Angelica Wedell, and I am currently the communications director here at POLCO. And I started about 8 years ago when it was National Research Center, which is now about 30 years old. National Research Center is, and it was this small organization that had like 10 employees that was all about research for the public sector, for government. And a lot of people knew the National Community Survey from National Research Center. And so that's where I started. And I came on as the communications kind of coordinator. They didn't know what they were getting. They didn't have any sales. They relied on partners and word of mouth and research, really, and in articles coming out. And then a lot of word of mouth. A lot of local governments got started with them and started establishing their baseline data, and kept coming back and saying, hey, this is great. So they didn't have a newsletter. They didn't have social media. They didn't have, their website was really outdated. So they didn't know what they were getting into when they hired me. And then I started a marketing team of one. And then I would get part-time people to help me out. And I would outsource as much as I could just to get things done. But I basically ended up having to do the job of 10 people, as a lot of people are going to relate to this who have done the marketing team of one before. I see you out there. So you kind of got to be able to do a little bit of everything. So fortunately, my background has trained me. I have a degree in journalism and technical communications. So start off with, I do a little bit of coding, can do articles, can do multimedia video, can do, print, web, all these types of things. So I was like, well, let's start a newsletter. let's do more things than we did before. Let's start a CRM, let's just get these first things going. And within 6 months of me being there, we started to see, tracking the data indicated about a 40% increase in profitability for the company just by starting marketing, which they didn't have before. And we didn't even have sales back then. And so now in 2019, people started to kind of get more of an idea of who is this National Research Center and in the space. And then we actually became part of POLCO in 2019. And then POLCO brought us into the next century where we could actually, POLCO is an online platform. And so POLCO is saying, hey, we can engage and do data and do all of these great things. We can do survey research and we can do it online and we can make it easier for people to participate. We're still going to keep the scientific aspect that National Research Center is famous for, right? We're still going to have scientific representative samples. We're still going to have all those things, the rigor and the statistic rigor. We're going to still have the accuracy and all of that kind of thing. We're going to have all the jargon, like margin of error and all that stuff still matters to us, but we're going to go online. So we're going to allow more people to be able to participate. We're going to bring in open participant surveys too, that anyone can take. That's outside of a survey sample, for example. We're going to do a whole lot more. We're going to have opportunities to allow governments to verify through we have a tool called verification that allows you to ensures confidentially that the people are actually within your jurisdiction. It scrubs against voter records. But of course, we always want to make sure we're guaranteeing privacy and keeping individual information is always kept confidential. So it's not like anyone's ever going to get a report with any individuals. Reports are always shared in the aggregate, in the group form. But that being said, so then with POLCO coming taking over and taking that National Research Center under its umbrella, I then became the director of marketing for POLCO overall. And then we had, there's the pandemic and a whole bunch of things happened, and everybody had to do more with less. And so for a long time, it was continuing to be, me doing as much as I could with whatever help that I could with, limited resources. And I think a lot of people relate to that, especially in those times. And we became pretty much totally remote. So I started working from home full time at that moment. And there's good things and bad things about that. And so that's one thing that's definitely changed. And then last year, we actually started building a real marketing team. So it's not just the Angelica show anymore. There's a whole team that I can rely on. So I got to bring on a vice president of marketing. I hired my boss. And we also hired on the rest of our team. And so my style of leadership, as you asked about, is really about making sure that when new people are brought onto my team, that I'm there to help them to succeed. I want to onboard them and make sure they have all the information that they need, that they're happy to be on the team, and that they're able to flex their wings, and that they're able to fly and do the things that they do great. So we got a copywriter, we got a graphic designer, we now have a partnerships director, we now have a demand generations director. We have so many great people. We have a product manager. We have so many great people on our marketing team, and they are the thing that keeps me going. Like if you ask me what's my favorite part of my job, it's my team. So I just have to say we are very lucky that we have such amazing people. And I feel every day that we hire somebody new, we get new resources. I say this all the time, that it's Christmas for Angelica. We have resources. We can do so much more. It's no longer marketing survival mode, but it's really about collaboration and teamwork, and in taking these ideas and these missions and these visions that we have. And my goal is to really bring people together to collaborate and come together to my goal is really to inspire people to succeed. And when they succeed, our company succeeds. When our staff succeeds, our company succeeds. And I also feel the same way about organizations that we partner with. When we succeed together, we all succeed better. We're all going to be more successful. We're all going to be better off when we're working together, because it's not just about a paycheck. That's not why I'm here. We're here because we're doing something that's helping people and that's helping communities. So if you're in on that with us, we're happy to partner with you. And, we want those kinds of people on our team.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much for, sharing your story as for, not only like how you started and being a team of one, and then, now you have a team of, of really great, passionate people on your team as well. Then everyone comes in, they're here like for the same common goal, what they want to work on. So, and I love how you said it's Christmas every day. Yeah, absolutely. Coming from being a one-man team to now having, 10 people all together. That's great. And kudos to you, honestly.
Well, I will definitely accept those kudos. I'm definitely happy to see the kind of growth that POLCO is having at this time of growth. That, we went from, 10 people back in the day to almost 100. So we've grown a lot, and we're still growing. And I'm just really proud of the company and where we've come, how far we've come.
Absolutely. It's amazing overall. So now we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
All right, let's do this.
Perfect. Yes. So if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role today?
Fixed in my role today? Work-life balance. I'm going to be honest. I work a lot. I'm kind of tired. I love what I do. I love my people, but it would be work-life balance.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I appreciate your honesty as well. A lot of marketers also feel this as well, like during a different phase of their career as well. So now, in terms of within the marketing realm, how do you stay up to date? Where do you go to for your insights, for staying up to date on the industry, and what are some tips you can provide for our marketers as well?
I love that question. So one of those things as far as staying relevant within our market is getting out and being involved with and engaging with our market. We do market surveys when we have good opportunities as well to understand them. Since we are a survey research company, that's a big thing that we do. So we like surveys. We also have good relationships with our partners that keep us updated. And then we also make sure that, with all of our clients as well, they let us know what they want, what they need. They give us feedback on our products, and our clients are wonderful as far as helping us be able to move forward. We also have a national advisory board of local government professionals that give us feedback, that engage with us. And a lot of times they test out and pilot some of our new products. We're coming out with new features all the time, new products. And so a lot of times they'll be like, hey, I'll give that a go and give you some feedback on that, because that's really helpful for us to understand their experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So now my next question is, what is the last book that you read?
The last book that I read is probably, well, I'm still in the process of reading it. It's called You're Not Listening. And it's about how it's about the modern era of how we interact with each other, and how, in our society, we're so worried about debating, and we're so worried about getting the last word in, that we're not actually really stopping to think and to listen carefully about what other people are saying. And so that's an interesting book. You're Not Listening. And I think I would recommend it for somebody who wants to really kind of think philosophically about, your own listening skills and your listening, how you were listening to other people.
Awesome. I love that. That is definitely a really good read. I'm going to check it out. You're the second person who's brought that up to me, so I think that's a sign to read it. All right. So now we're at the end of our interview today, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to join us on Pathmonk Presents, but I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything we've talked about in your interview today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about your company overall?
The one thing I would like everyone to remember about POLCO overall is that we are here to bring communities together around their most important topics, to help governments and residents come together, and businesses come together in a civil and constructive way, not a polarized way where we're fighting with each other, in a constructive way. So that way we can make our communities better, we can make better decisions, we can do improvements that are going to benefit everyone in our community, and not just the few that are the most vocal.
Absolutely. And I love that, bringing that voice for the community and how to be able to give them the opportunities to be heard. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Angelica, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you, Maria. I've had a pleasure being here today.
Thank you. And for all of our listeners out there, check us out next week on Pathmonk Presents.